According to statistics, there are currently about 7,150 languages in the world, belonging to 142 different groups. Many of these languages are endangered or have already disappeared. For many years, scientists have been studying and deciphering ancient scripts to gain new insights into human history. This work takes a significant amount of time, and some texts remain undeciphered. Fortunately, in our age of information technology, new tools are constantly emerging to automate this process. In this video, I invite you to explore examples of how artificial intelligence is helping to restore ancient languages. Enjoy watching. In 1973, during excavations at the Roman fort of Vindolanda, archaeologist Robin Burley discovered several wooden tablets that are the oldest surviving British written documents. They are over 1,800 years old. Archaeologists have continued to find similar artifacts across former Roman Britain, and today, researchers have more than 750 Roman tablets. All of them are stored in the British Museum in London. Some have already been deciphered, and the most interesting ones, along with their translations, are available in the main exhibition. Museum visitors can view them. The tablets contain various handwritten records, such as military orders, complaints, invitations, and personal letters. The most famous translated text is a letter from Claudia Severa, wife of Aelius Brachus, commander of the Northern Fleet, to a woman named Sulpicia Lepidina, wife of Flavius Carialis, the prefect of the 9th cohort of Batavians at Vindolanda. In the letter, Claudia invited her friend to visit for her birthday. Notably, the main text was written by a scribe, while the postscript was added by Claudia herself. The letter dates to around 100 AD, making it the oldest known document with a woman's handwriting. Scholars have done meticulous work translating the tablets, but some remain undeciphered. Therefore, British programmers decided to assist them by automating the process. They are currently working on developing artificial intelligence capable of automatic translation of the tablets. Artificial intelligence continues to develop actively. While some researchers focus on using it to decipher ancient texts, others have found equally interesting applications and are training computers to interpret animal communication methods. In 2017, young scientists from Berlin introduced an intriguing development: artificial intelligence capable of recognizing and deciphering the dances of bees. Bees use specific movements, known as dances, as a means of communication to inform their peers of flower locations. Although researchers had previously attempted to recognize these movements, older methods were ineffective and required painstaking manual work. In their new development, the German scientists fully automated this process using artificial intelligence. The presented neural network works with cameras installed inside a beehive and consists of 4 main modules. The first serves as a sensor that reacts to the frequency of the insect's body movements during dancing, which is considered to be 13 Hz at the start of the dance. Once the system detects vibrations, it marks the beginning of the bee's movements. The second module is closely related to the first and acts as a filter for other vibrations. It also uses a set of 50 x 50 pixel images to determine whether a dancing bee is present in the analyzed footage. The third module is designed to determine the orientation of the bee dance relative to the vertical axis. The fourth module compiles all data from the other modules, decodes the polar coordinates of the flower the bees will fly to, and determines its location. The accuracy of decoding bee dances reached 90%, proving the effectiveness of using artificial intelligence for observing animals. Linear A refers to the writing system used by the Minoans from 1800 to 1450 BC. It is the predecessor of another ancient Cretan language known as Linear B, but it remains largely undeciphered. Linear A evolved from Cretan hieroglyphs through a simplification of their shapes and writing styles. It was primarily used for administrative purposes. Linear A consists of 300 different signs, representing both syllables and unique words that were used only once. This script also includes numerical symbols. Units are represented by vertical strokes, tens by horizontal strokes, hundreds by circles, and thousands by circles with rays. For example, the number 9 was depicted with 9 vertical strokes and 900 with 9 circles. Almost all clay tablets with Linear A inscriptions have been found on the island of Crete. The first of these were discovered by English historian and archaeologist Arthur Evans in the early 20th century during excavations in Knossos. To date, Linear A remains only partially deciphered due to a lack of inscriptions. Only 1,400 have been found, compared to 6,000 Linear B inscriptions. Additionally, archaeologists have not yet discovered bilingual inscriptions, like the Rosetta Stone. However, scientists are currently working on developing artificial intelligence that could help fill the gaps in deciphering this ancient language. The Akkadian language, also known as the Assyro-Babylonian language, is one of the oldest Semitic languages spoken by the ancient inhabitants of Mesopotamia, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. Although this language has long been studied by scholars, the deciphering of Akkadian cuneiform texts takes a significant amount of time. To address this issue, in 2020, a team from Tel Aviv and Ariel universities developed an algorithm capable of translating Akkadian cuneiform into transliterated Latin script. This algorithm proved to be quite effective, and during testing, received an evaluation comparable to that of machine translation for modern languages. However, researchers decided to improve on this algorithm. In 2023, Israeli programmers introduced a new AI model capable of translating Akkadian cuneiform into both Latin script and English. This translation takes only a few seconds. Scholars believe that this model could revolutionize the study of ancient history. Recently, archaeologists discovered several hundred clay tablets with Akkadian cuneiform, and thanks to this new translator, they can now quickly obtain translations of ancient texts. The Dead Sea Scrolls, also known as the Qumran manuscripts, were discovered in 1947 in the caves of Qumran, a few kilometers from the Dead Sea and the Jordan River. These scrolls date from the 3rd century BC to the 1st century AD. The manuscripts are an important religious, historical, and linguistic artifact, as they contain written fragments of the Bible and are written in Qumran Hebrew. Following this discovery, archaeologists found many more similar manuscripts with biblical texts in other Judean caves. For a long time, it was believed that each of the first discovered scrolls was written by a single person. Researchers from the University of Groningen in the Netherlands decided to test this theory. They analyzed the Qumran scroll 1 Klosah, which contains 66 chapters of the Book of Isaiah, using artificial intelligence trained to separate ink from the base and examine each character for the slightest variations. During the study, a break was found at the end of the 27th column of text, after which the writing style of the characters changed. This indicated that the scroll was written not by one, but by 2 different people. This study disproved the theory that the scrolls were created by a single person. The project participants believed that entire teams of scribes worked on the manuscripts. Throughout the history of archaeology, scientists have found many manuscripts written in ancient languages. For a long time, their deciphering posed significant challenges, and as a result, about 90% of all cuneiform texts remain untranslated. However, the collaborative work of linguists and programmers has helped solve this problem. In 2023, a team of German scientists successfully trained a computer to recognize, decipher, and digitize text written in ancient languages. The first tablets studied were those from Mesopotamia, written in Akkadian, which are 5,000 years old. Currently, scientists possess hundreds of thousands of such tablets waiting to be deciphered. Unlike previous deciphering methods, the new artificial intelligence, based on OCR technology, converts 3D scans into machine-readable text and translates cuneiform with high accuracy. According to experts, they have already managed to decode many tablets containing governmental decrees, historical events, and everyday notes. The only texts that still pose challenges for the computer are poems written by Mesopotamian poets. The creation of artificial intelligence has allowed scientists to learn more about the lives of the inhabitants of Mesopotamia and to uncover new chapters in the history of ancient peoples. In March 2023, an unusual competition called the Vesuvius Challenge was held. Participants were invited to decipher the Herculaneum papyri, which had been buried under a layer of ash after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius nearly 2,000 years ago. The scrolls were discovered in 1750 at a ruined villa. Scientists did not know how to decipher them, as the main challenge was that they were completely charred. Unrolling them without damaging them was nearly impossible. However, science has advanced significantly, and now there are digital technologies capable of handling previously insurmountable tasks. In 2018, researchers at the University of Kentucky figured out how to reveal the writings on these scrolls. They scanned the artifacts with X-rays and used software to virtually unroll the scrolls, producing images of the texts that needed deciphering. The Vesuvius Challenge was conducted online. The contest website published images of the scrolls, as well as a program capable of recognizing symbols from the X-ray scans. The team trio, made up of three 20-year-old students from Germany, the USA, and Egypt, Julian Schilliger, Luke Ferrator, and Youssef Nader, performed best in this challenge. They managed to restore about 2,000 symbols, or 15% of the entire text. For their work, the young men received a reward of $700,000. The Archimedes palimpsest is an ancient manuscript containing unique texts by Archimedes that are found nowhere else. The manuscript was written on parchment in the 10th century AD and discovered in the early 20th century. This artifact continues to be intensively studied by scholars to this day. The challenge in working with the manuscript lies in the fact that part of the text was damaged by acid, and a previous owner supplemented the manuscript with 4 Byzantine-style miniatures, making the original text unreadable. Researchers tried for a long time to restore this fragment because without it, the meaning of the entire manuscript was lost. In 2005, Uwe Bergman learned that the ink used for the Archimedes palimpsest contained an iron-based pigment. He proposed using X-rays to try to restore the text. The traces of such ink fluoresce under radiation, and this fluorescence can be detected by sensors, allowing the erased text to be read. This idea was successful, and scientists managed to recover part of the erased text, but its quality was poor and hard to read. To complete the deciphering of this valuable manuscript, a specially designed computer program was used, with an algorithm that restored the damaged text and translated it into English. Thanks to this meticulous work, researchers were able to read most of the unique scientific works of the ancient Greek scholar Archimedes. The Voynich manuscript is considered the most mysterious book in the world. It was named after Polish antiquarian Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it for his private collection in 1912. This manuscript is a handwritten book with illustrations, consisting of 240 pages. The enigma of the manuscript lies in the fact that it is written in an unknown language, and some of its illustrations depict plants that have never existed on Earth. The author of the book is also unknown, and some people believe it was written by extraterrestrials. Scholars have been studying the Voynich manuscript for many years. However, they have not yet determined the exact age of the book or deciphered its contents. According to research by American chemist Greg Hodgins, who analyzed the manuscript's parchment, the artifact is about 600 years old. Many historians, cryptographers, and linguists have tried to decipher the text, but all attempts have been unsuccessful. Some scholars even began to believe that the manuscript is a hoax with no real meaning. However, the key to unlocking this mysterious manuscript might be close, thanks to Canadian programmers from the University of Alberta who developed artificial intelligence for deciphering the manuscript. The researchers reported testing their algorithm, based on algorithmic decryption, on 380 different translations of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The results showed that the system correctly identified the language in 97% of cases. The programmers then began working on the Voynich manuscript. Initially, they hypothesized that the book was written in Arabic using invented characters. However, the AI disagreed and indicated that the book was actually written in Hebrew. This answer surprised the researchers, but they continued their study to determine if there was any meaning in the manuscript. Amazingly, the program was able to translate the first sentence of the book, which read, "She made recommendations to the priest, man of the house, and me, and the people." This might be a coincidence, but it does seem to make sense. Canadian specialists are now continuing their work on deciphering the book with Hebrew-speaking linguists, and perhaps we will soon learn what the world's most mysterious book is about. In May 2024, Turkish Deputy Minister of Culture and Tourism, Gürkan Yazgi, announced that Turkish researchers were actively working on deciphering 2,000 Hittite tablets using artificial intelligence. The Hittite Empire was an ancient power in Asia Minor that existed in what is now Turkey more than 3,000 years ago. The peak of the Hittite Empire occurred in the 14th century BC, but it ceased to exist after the 1180s BC. The new project was implemented in several stages. Initially, experts digitized the Hittite cuneiform tablets stored in the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations in Ankara and Istanbul's archaeological museums. This step also created a digital library of ancient documents with open access. Programmers, with the help of linguists and historians, then developed the algorithm necessary for the AI to function properly. The program was tested on 500 Hittite cuneiform tablets, and the results showed that the AI translated the ancient texts with an accuracy of up to 75%. Additionally, the program successfully handled damaged tablets, restoring missing text. This result demonstrated the effectiveness of software in working with cuneiform texts. Turkish researchers now plan to use artificial intelligence to decipher the remaining tablets. In 2016, archaeologists in Florence discovered the ruins of an ancient Etruscan temple built approximately 2,000 years ago. Among the remains of the temple was a long stele with religious inscriptions. This discovery was groundbreaking, as scientists had never before found religious artifacts with Etruscan writing. The stele could provide more insight into the religion of this people, but deciphering the inscription was necessary. The Etruscans were an ancient civilization that inhabited the northwestern part of the Italian peninsula during the first millennium BC. Today, the region that was once Etruscan land is known as Tuscany. The Etruscans were an advanced civilization, and you might be surprised to learn that the ancient Romans borrowed many of their construction techniques, funeral rites, gladiatorial games, and more from the Etruscans. Nonetheless, over time, the Romans completely displaced the Etruscans. Thanks to excavations in Tuscany, which have been ongoing for many years, scientists have learned much about this lost civilization. However, some aspects of Etruscan life remain unknown, and studying their writing could fill these gaps. In 2022, programmers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology proposed creating an algorithm to decipher the text on the Etruscan stele. Initially, scientists were against the idea but eventually agreed, and the specialists began development. Historians now have the opportunity to learn more about the gods the Etruscans worshipped. In 2020, Google introduced its new development, a translator capable of deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. The app was named Cyber Rosetta Stone in honor of the Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799 near the city of Rosetta. Thanks to this discovery, scholars learned to decipher ancient Egyptian writing. The translator was presented in the Arts and Culture app and became the first tool capable of not only interpreting hieroglyphs, but also translating them into emojis. Moreover, users can translate modern text into ancient Egyptian. The app works on the innovative Fabricius system, which uses machine learning to scan files and then translate them. According to the developers, their main goal was to create an app with a simple and user-friendly interface that would effectively help historians, archaeologists, and other scholars explore ancient Egyptian writing. This idea was appreciated by many specialists, although some believe that this development cannot replace a live specialist in reading ancient inscriptions. Many people believe that plants cannot communicate, which is unsurprising as they lack organs for communication. However, modern research has proven otherwise. This information may seem fantastical, but to better understand how plants can communicate, we should remember that humans can not only speak, but also see, hear, smell, sense time, perceive their bodies in space, and more. The combination of these senses allows us to interact with the world around us. Scientists have long known that some plants can release substances to warn others of danger. New studies have shown that plants can also communicate with their kind using impulses from their roots. To test this, researchers developed a special program that sent electrical impulses from a mobile phone, causing plants to perform basic functions. Experiments were conducted on the carnivorous plant, the Venus flytrap, and researchers managed to get the flytrap to open and close its trap in response to signals. This discovery was groundbreaking, and now scientists hope that with the help of artificial intelligence, they will be able to learn how to decode the language of plants. The Enigma cipher machine, patented in 1918 by German engineer Arthur Scherbius, was actively used by the German military during World War II. The Enigma seemed invincible. This is not surprising, given that its polyalphabetic substitution cipher, 4-rotor scrambler, and 10 plugboard connections enabled 151 trillion permutations and combinations. However, English mathematician Alan Turing, with the help of fellow mathematicians and logicians, and thanks to the Polish intelligence service that cracked an earlier version of the Enigma code, managed to break the code of the improved German cipher machine. This took Turing nearly a year. In 2017, a team of British programmers sought to replicate Turing's success by cracking the Enigma code again, this time using artificial intelligence. Unlike the traditional code-breaking method, the program compares encrypted sentences with a database of German words and, when matching linguistic patterns are found, outputs the decrypted text. This process only takes the computer about 10 minutes. This algorithm has found applications in many fields, including medicine. Linear B is the later form of Cretan writing, dating from the 15th to the 12th centuries BC. Clay tablets with inscriptions in this ancient language were discovered in the major cities of Mycenaean Greece. The predecessor of Linear B was a script known as Linear A, which was displaced after the conquest of Crete by the Achaeans. The first attempts to decipher the tablets in this ancient language were made in the early 20th century by English historian, archaeologist, and discoverer of the Minoan civilization, Arthur Evans. Although Evans discovered Linear B, he was unable to decipher it. In the 1940s, American historian and archaeologist Alice Kober began studying the Cretan clay tablets. She noticed potential noun declension paradigms in the ancient language and created an index card catalog of 186,000 cards, recording different variations of Linear B signs and searching for words with common roots but different endings. Unfortunately, due to a severe illness, Kober passed away before completing her work. However, thanks to her efforts, British architect and self-taught linguist Michael Ventris, in collaboration with British linguist John Chadwick, managed to finish deciphering the script. Ventris and Chadwick deciphered most of the signs of the Minoan language, though some remained unresolved. This problem was addressed by programmers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who developed an algorithm that can translate texts from Linear B into Greek. Testing of the artificial intelligence showed that it successfully translated 67.3% of related words. Oracle bones are valuable artifacts that are over 3,000 years old. These bones are typically ox scapulae or turtle plastrons, inscribed with various hieroglyphs. They were actively used by ancient Chinese diviners. Oracles would carve questions to the gods onto the bones, then ignite a fire, throw the ritual items in, and wait for cracks to appear, which they interpreted as the gods' answers. Today, these artifacts are of great importance to historians and linguists because they contain the earliest collection of ancient Chinese writing, which laid the foundation for the development of the modern Chinese language. At least 5,000 different hieroglyphs have been found on all discovered oracle bones, but not all of them have been deciphered, mainly due to damage. To assist scholars with interpreting texts on oracle bones, the company Tencent began developing an algorithm capable of deciphering and restoring ancient hieroglyphs. According to the company's specialists, since the interpretation of glyphs depends on their shape, the artificial intelligence will rely on glyph data from oracle bones and match them with images and modern Chinese characters. To date, many ancient languages remain unexplored because scholars have no information about their vocabulary, grammar, or syntax. However, it turns out that even a small number of inscriptions can be enough to learn how to decipher texts in dead languages. This may seem impossible, and many scholars are skeptical, but programmers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology are confident that their new artificial intelligence can work with ancient unexplored languages. Moreover, the new program will not only be able to translate texts, but also determine the relationships between the chosen language and other known languages. The AI's work is based on basic linguistic principles. The decryption algorithm learns to map the sounds of the language into a multi-dimensional space, where pronunciation differences are represented as distances between corresponding vectors. This makes it possible to track language evolution and match words in an ancient language with their modern counterparts in related languages. The programmers working on the AI began testing their algorithm with the Iberian language, which was spoken by the inhabitants of Iberia, now modern-day Spain. For comparison, they used several language groups. The Basque language and Latin were found to be the closest to Iberian, though research showed that they were not actually related. Researchers are currently working on expanding the approach of deciphering based on related words, and they may eventually find a related group for the Iberian language. Jiaming Luo, a native of China, had been fascinated with ancient languages since childhood and dreamed of developing a program that would assist scientists in deciphering cuneiform texts. After finishing school, he entered the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he studied programming. In 2015, Luo recalled his dream and began working on artificial intelligence capable of deciphering ancient scripts. He worked on the development of the application with colleagues from the university. As a result, Luo's team created an algorithm based on the patterns of language evolution over time. They then began creating a database of ancient and modern words. The goal was to match words from lost languages with their modern counterparts, with the algorithm working for most languages. The first testing of the artificial intelligence was conducted on Ugaritic and Linear B scripts, and to the team's surprise, the computer accurately translated the texts in Linear B, which had been deciphered by American philologist and archaeologist Alice Kober. This process had taken her over 6 years, while the program completed it in just a few hours. The translation of Ugaritic texts into Hebrew was also successful for Luo's team, as this ancient language was a predecessor of Hebrew. However, this brilliant development did not please everyone. Although artificial intelligence has helped optimize the work of deciphering ancient scripts, some scholars argue that the program is ineffective, explaining that many unknown languages have no connection to modern languages. For a long time, scholars faced challenges in deciphering ancient Babylonian texts due to several factors. The main issue was that archaeologists often found damaged clay tablets with fragments of a single text scattered across various museums worldwide. Additionally, the texts on the tablets were composed in 2 complex writing systems, Akkadian and Sumerian. Previously, working with Babylonian tablets was very labor-intensive and time-consuming. Researchers would first copy the signs onto paper, then meticulously compare their interpretations to find related parts and determine where gaps needed filling. However, thanks to a team of linguists and programmers from Germany who developed the fragmentarium program, this process has now been fully automated. The artificial intelligence uses 22,000 fragments of Babylonian inscriptions, which were digitized beforehand, to find matching pieces and join them in seconds, followed by translating the complete text. Fragmentarium successfully restored and deciphered the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known literary work, dating back to 2100 BC. the AI still has much work to do with other ancient Babylonian tablets. Specialists at Google DeepMind, together with scientists, have developed a new AI tool called Ithaca, designed to decipher damaged ancient Greek inscriptions. The system is based on Pythia, a tool for text restoration, and not only restores text, but can also determine the region of origin and date of creation. Previous similar systems required refinement, as they offered multiple word choices that matched the context, leaving scientists to select the right option themselves. Google addressed this limitation, taking their development to the next level, allowing specialists in ancient Greek inscriptions to save significant time when working with damaged texts. To begin, the Google DeepMind team converted the largest collection of ancient Greek inscriptions into machine-readable text, comprising about 35,000 inscriptions with a total of 3 million words. The programmers then trained the system to suggest missing letters and words. Additionally, they modified the system to include the capability of determining the text's region of origin and possible date of creation. Thus, the tool Ithaca was born. Surprisingly, testing showed Ithaca's exceptional performance. This system can independently restore damaged texts with an accuracy of up to 62% in a short time. When collaborating with historians and linguists, this figure increases to 72%. This new development will undoubtedly help scholars restore ancient Greek texts with very high precision. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your engagement is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.